Hello, hello, everybody. This is Jay Chatfield on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. I was a little tired today. I was up doing some tutoring, and then also I had a consultation with somebody, which was really great. You never know how much things you're carrying around until you're able to talk to someone. And when I talked to this young lady, it was like a whole, I don't know, it just flowed out. Sometimes we just need to be asked those questions to cause ourselves to think. So it was pretty late. It was about 11 o'clock at night when we started, and whole hour. So it was really cool. I'm really thankful that I'm able to be someone, not something. I'm someone that people can talk to, and everything I talk about is strictly confidential. If I do mention anything, I don't mention names, and it's to help not hurt. But today I had a little bit of a I don't know what to call it. Something, not an epiphany, maybe maybe a revelation. I like saying it like that. Maybe a revelation. So when it comes to the kids, I'm with my kids a lot, and a whole lot. And when it comes to them, I have all access to teach them lessons. And I grew up being spanked, hit, thrown down. I mean, just whatever. So I that's how I grew up. And I didn't want to raise my kids like that, because I didn't feel like it was effective for the long run. So let's talk about this. In the journey of loving myself to life, I have appreciated what I like to grow. So in my self-reflection, I reflect on my kids. How would they like to grow? So if I'm a human being and I like to grow through, and I grow, let's say grow. We don't really like growing because it hurts sometimes, but I grow through experiences. So they should grow through experiences too. So I've been testing this out. I got a lot to say, and I'm going to try to keep this under my time minimum. So, my 5-year-old, love him. He's my youngest. I tell them to get their stuff ready for them to go, out. And he does not do that. He did not, and he's trying to get in my video, and I'm trying to tell him not to. So go on over there. Go on over there. I don't want you in it. I love you, but not right now in the video, okay? So that's my up in your face child. My other kids were never ever, but this one he likes to be there. So go back on that side. Go back on that side. Thank you. Appreciate you. Love you. So I just told him I didn't love him, but okay then. So anyway, this is real life. So I was saying something, wasn't I? Yes. So he didn't do what I told him to do, and this was twice. This was two things happened. So it was cold outside. He walked out the door without getting his jacket. So it's me and 3 kids in my life, and I am not going to say things multiple times when you know where you put your clothes. I don't go around the house organizing things for everybody, because at some point you're going to have to be accountable for yourself. Now, we didn't do this when he was 1, of course, but he'll be 6 years old in 2 months, and his brother will be 9, and his sister will be 11. Right now, you need to learn how to do the things that you need to do to make your life flow. So he walked out, and it was cold, so he's shivering. And I'm just looking at him. Now, people would call that child abuse, but I don't, because honestly, we were going right into a building. But on the way to the building, brother man was all up under my legs. And the lady in the building was like, "What's wrong with you?" Oh, I forgot my jacket. Again, we're going from the car to the building, and he said he forgot his jacket, and she said, "You didn't get your jacket?" And he was like, "No." Okay. And I told her why. I told her he walked out the house with his jacket. I looked at him. I was like looking at him get in the car without his jacket. I was like, like I said, I knew we weren't going to go to a parade or something, but again, we went and came back, and we came back home, you know. And he learned his lesson, because the next time we left the house, he had on his jacket. One time this week, he didn't wake up in time to eat breakfast. You already know what happened. I told you, you decided that you wanted to turn on the TV. I kept walking around you. I kept doing what I had to do to go where I needed to go. Like I said, I'm not gonna pop you or whatever you want to do what you have to do, because that's something that sticks with you at the moment. If you forget your breakfast 14 times and you don't learn from it, then you don't need breakfast. So, okay, that's how I feel. So you forgot breakfast. You went to school without eating your breakfast. So he goes to kindergarten, because I have been working with my older son, I have to make a video about that soon. So he went to school without breakfast, but guess what? The next day, he was eating. Because that stomach was talking to him the day before. Now, getting back to us, if, we learn best from our experiences, so that every time or when something comes back up, hopefully it doesn't, we pass that test then, because we already know what's going to happen if we choose to go that way. So I practice that with my kids, and I practice that with myself. Now, the second half of this video I want to talk about is that my son, my oldest son, I'm at his basketball game now, right before it starts. So my older son, he plays basketball, and I'm practicing not taking out what happened to me in my past on him. So I played basketball when I was younger, and I only played basketball because my mom liked basketball, and I was trying to gain the affection of my mom by playing basketball. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe one day she'll come to my game. Now, I lived in Florida and she lived in New York. Now, this, like I said, in my head as a child, I was always hopeful. And if you get my book, The Woman That Is Made, and also When Loving Myself to Life comes out, both of them touch on it, because that was so much a part of my life, trying to get her attention to come to me. So I played basketball, but I was always sitting on the bench. One, because I was raised by my aunt who didn't drive, and I didn't have a parent to get me to practices on time. So I would get there late. They'd be done with drills, and all they would do was make me run the whole time. Everybody else is running drills and learning how to do other things, and I just ran the whole time. There was one time where we had a game, and I got there late because the city bus was late. Now, I'm 14, 15 years old catching the city bus. I came from a private school to a public school. So I got there late, and the first quarter was over. The coach made me run the whole second half, and then he put me in with 3 seconds left. Now, people will think that's cruel, but you know what? I learned a lesson. It wasn't for me. Now, in that, I was kind of angry at my parents, because I didn't have anybody to help me. I didn't have anybody to help me with skills to succeed on the team. I kind of felt if they were present, then they could have gotten somebody, because I really loved the game. I still like to watch it today. And I had 4 older brothers, but they were so much more older than me that they had work and life and moved away and stuff like that. Like my oldest, the closest one to me is 20 years older than me. So that lets you know right there how long it is. So my son, I spend a lot of time with my kids, and I always tell him, if you want to do something, I will you don't have to, I will be there and I will do it. So we got a basketball hoop. My husband bought him a basketball hoop, and we've been working with him. I show him how to do a layup, use your legs, hit the box, you know what I'm saying? But it hasn't been helping. And guess who's getting frustrated? I know you already guessed right now because I'm the one making the video. So in games, I'm just pacing up and down the sideline. I think I look like a crazy mom. Now, there's no smoke or anything coming from my head. I'm not kind of like, I'm just like, I know we've been working on this. This is how I'm looking. And then he looks over at me and I'm like, come on, come on. And then he's out there chasing the butterflies in the top of he's a tall boy. He's 8, but he's the size of an 11-year-old. Like tall wise, skinny, lanky, but he can put his hands up. He doesn't leave the floor. I mean, we could talk all about the skills that I've been trying to teach him, but that's not what this is about. So he's like looking at me like, Mom, I'm trying. And I'm like, no, you're not. I know you can do better than that. And then last week he got so upset with the coach because the coach put him on the bench and he wanted to play. But honestly, he was out there playing with his hands and the people that was passing the ball. So last year he did very well. But I think it was because he was the older in the group. He's younger in the group now. And these boys be crossing over and stuff, which he can hang with them if he knew how to get in that. Man, okay. I get excited when I talk about him because I get that way because I know what he can do. But he doesn't know yet. So how do I work that into him? That's the thing. I can't. He has to do that for himself. And I'm learning that. All I need to do is be here for him at this moment. And going back to last week games, after the game, he came up to me and he grabbed my hand and he hugged me. And I said, son, you're doing a good job. You're you, but I do want you to... I'm sorry, I'm a little competitive. I do want you to work on this. And I'm like, they're not respecting you by passing you the ball because you haven't shown them that you can do anything with the ball. So he was like, I know, I try. And I said, you know what? You just keep trying and mommy will still work with you. Daddy will still work with you. And I had to tell my husband that. Going back to when I was a child, I'm putting on him what I wish someone would have done for me. Does that make any sense? I'm so wholeheartedly into helping him succeed, and I want to see that that come out. But he's just happy I'm here. He's just happy that I pay attention. I come to his games. I take him to practice. He's just happy I'm here. And to me, it doesn't make me sad. It makes me happy because we have to be careful, as parents, to not let our past come out on our kids. And if I hadn't dug into myself, looked back, reflected on this, I would never have been able to recognize that. I would have been that parent that you read about in the paper. She went over and pushed the coach down, or or the referee, oh boy, he's calling everything. That parent, but I'm not that way. I'm here to support him. Same way I'm here to support my 5-year-old. Now, my 11-year-old has had some occurrences with experiences. Okay, I know. My time is up. Okay. My 11-year-old has had some current, and I'm going to tell you about her. She is learning to abide by rules outside of my house. So she goes to One Day Academy, and she can't wear leggings. And she wore leggings for like the 4th time after. And so the first 2 times I was like, okay, it's my fault. We need to do this. I told her. The 3rd time I ran to Walmart, bought her a pair of jeans and took her. So I helped her. The last 2 times I was like, you know what? I helped her. The first 3 times I need her to figure this out on her own. So the next time she got written up. And the people came to me and they was like, we just want to tell you. And I say, thank you for telling me, but you handled that with her. And the lady was like, but you're the parent. I said, yeah, and it's fine. I understand. But when you write her up, you explain to her why she's being written up. Now, I trust these people. These aren't like any old, people that, we've been going to One Day Academy for a while. But these are people that I go in and I have conversation with. So I stood back. Let her write her up. you know. And you know what? My daughter didn't tell me anything about it. She didn't say anything about it, and I'm fine. And I'm fine with that. But guess what? The last 2 weeks, sister girl had on the right stuff. That's what I'm talking about. Experiences will teach you better than me pop pop pop, you know, me doing that. I'm just saying that. All right, I'm done. This is Jay Chatfield. Make sure you get the book, The Woman That Is Made, and also listen to my podcast. I love doing my podcast, and I love the listeners that come through. I had some feedback. We'll talk about that coming up on my podcast. And as always, do something for you that you and only you will. Oh, the podcast is called Loving Myself to Life. And do something for you that you and only you will love. Have a love yourself day.